Every great change in human history began with a simple question: how do we build a better society? For centuries, humanity has searched for answers. We have made remarkable progress in science, technology, medicine, education, and economic development. Yet millions of people around the world continue to struggle with hunger, poverty, inequality, discrimination, injustice, poor health care, unemployment, and lack of opportunity. We often see these as separate problems, but are they really separate? At TRIF, we believe they are deeply connected. Behind every social challenge lies one common foundation: human stability. When people are stable, families become stronger. When families become stronger, communities grow. When communities grow, nations prosper. And when nations prosper with justice and integrity, humanity moves forward together. This belief gave birth to the True Rights International Foundation, or TRIF. TRIF is a legally incorporated Section 8, not-for-profit organization established with a simple but powerful purpose: to build a world where every individual has the opportunity to live with dignity, equality, justice, and hope. We believe that every human being deserves respect, every child deserves opportunity, every woman deserves safety, every elderly person deserves care, every individual deserves justice, regardless of caste, religion, nationality, gender, language, or economic background. At TRIF, we do not simply respond to problems. We seek to understand their root causes and create long-term, sustainable solutions. That is why we developed what we call the TRIF path of human transformation. This philosophy explains how human development naturally progresses from one stage to the next. It begins with survival. A person who struggles every day for food, shelter, healthcare, or safety cannot fully focus on education or personal growth. Survival is not just about staying alive, it is about creating the basic stability every human being deserves. Once survival is secured, the next step is learning. Education is much more than going to school. It is the ability to understand the world, develop skills, think critically, make informed decisions, and unlock human potential. Education empowers people to shape their own future instead of depending on circumstances. When people learn, they begin to understand their rights. Rights are not privileges given to a few, they belong to every human being. The right to live with dignity, the right to equality, the right to justice, the right to education, healthcare, safety, and opportunity. But rights can only be protected when people know and understand them. When rights are protected, people can live with dignity. Dignity means recognizing the inherent worth of every individual. It means living without discrimination, humiliation, exclusion, or fear. It means treating every person with respect simply because they are human. A society that protects dignity naturally creates empowerment. Empowerment means giving individuals the knowledge, opportunities, skills, confidence, and resources to become self-reliant. It enables people to improve their own lives, support their families, strengthen their communities, and contribute meaningfully to society. But empowerment alone is not enough. For progress to endure across generations, it must be guided by integrity. Integrity is the foundation of ethical leadership, accountability, transparency, responsibility, and public trust. Without integrity, even the greatest achievements cannot be sustained. With integrity, societies build institutions that people can trust, leaders who serve with honesty, and communities that grow together. These 6 stages: survival, learning, rights, dignity, empowerment, and integrity, form the TRIF path of human transformation. Each stage strengthens the next. Together, they create a cycle of sustainable human development. To transform this philosophy into action, TRIF follows the human stability framework. Our framework is built on 6 interconnected pillars. The first pillar focuses on basic human needs: food, shelter, healthcare, safety, and physical as well as mental well-being form the foundation upon which every stable life is built. Without these essentials, lasting progress becomes difficult. The second pillar is education. Through education, skill development, leadership training, research, innovation, digital literacy, and public awareness, we help individuals unlock their full potential and prepare for the future. The third pillar is rights and justice. We promote human rights awareness, legal literacy, access to justice, child protection, women's rights, and the prevention of exploitation and abuse. A society where justice is accessible becomes stronger, safer, and more peaceful. The fourth pillar is dignity and equality. We believe no one should be judged or limited by caste, religion, gender, ethnicity, disability, age, or economic status. Inclusive societies are stronger because every individual is given the opportunity to contribute. The fifth pillar is empowerment and sustainable prosperity. Through livelihood development, entrepreneurship, employment opportunities, financial literacy, community development, and social innovation, we help individuals become self-reliant while creating stronger local economies. The sixth pillar is integrity and ethical leadership. We encourage transparency, accountability, responsible governance, civic responsibility, institutional strengthening, and leadership built on ethics rather than personal interest. Because sustainable development is only possible when integrity becomes a way of life. While our framework explains what we do, our identity is guided by six timeless values. Rights remind us to protect every person's freedoms. Integrity reminds us to always act with honesty and accountability. Dignity reminds us that every human life has equal worth. Equality reminds us that opportunity should never depend on identity. Justice reminds us that fairness must be accessible to everyone, and humanity reminds us that compassion, service, and collective responsibility are what truly unite us. These values guide every decision we make and every initiative we undertake. Our vision is a world where every individual has access to the conditions necessary for stability, opportunity, dignity, and sustainable progress. A world where equality is not symbolic but structural, where governance protects human rights, and where humanity flourishes in peace and shared prosperity. Our mission is to empower individuals and communities through the TRIF Human Stability Framework by advancing basic human well-being, education, rights protection, dignity, equality, sustainable empowerment, ethical leadership, and social innovation to create measurable and lasting positive impact. To achieve this mission, our approach is simple yet powerful. We educate, we empower, we engage, we advocate, we support, and ultimately, we transform. Our work reaches every area where human stability matters, from human rights protection and legal awareness to education, healthcare, women's empowerment, child protection, youth leadership, mental health, poverty reduction, livelihood development, environmental sustainability, disaster relief, ethical governance, digital rights, research, innovation, and international humanitarian partnerships. At TRIF, we do not promote division. We do not encourage hatred. We do not believe conflict alone creates lasting change. Instead, we believe in structured reform, inclusive development, equal dignity, ethical leadership, transparency, accountability, and collective responsibility. Because when stability is ensured, societies do not merely survive, they flourish. TRIF is more than an organization. It is a growing movement of citizens, professionals, volunteers, institutions, and communities working together toward a common purpose, a future where every individual lives with dignity, every child grows with opportunity, every voice is heard, every right is protected, every act of integrity strengthens society, and humanity stands above every difference. This is our commitment. This is our purpose. This is our journey. This is TRIF, ensuring justice.